Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I don't normally get into your business, tell you how to raise your kids, tell you what to do as far as that thing goes. But I read something today that just really disturbed me because I've seen so much of it. I've seen so much of it even amongst our woke, I hate that term, even amongst the awakened and aware community. And I just had to bring this to your attention because it just really bugs me. And it's something that we're doing, pardon me, we're doing it out of laziness. We're doing it out of convenience. We're just not being smart. We're just not thinking about what's going on. We're just not thinking about what we're doing. I want to bring this, boy, I want to bring this to your mind. And I want you to at least ponder this and at least think about this, especially those of you that are parents, those of you that are grandparents. This is just a really, really bad situation. Let me just say hello to the people that are here watching today. Very nice to have you. Merritt and Moonlight Herbalist, NXT, Nikki, Chase, Sarah, Lavera, Jama, Mark, nice to see you. Christine, Sabine, Tracy Dyer, Nikki, nice to see you. BW, Jim and Church, Crystal Light, so good to see you. Allison, good to see you. And Francis and Scott and so many others that are coming into the chat room. But let me get right into this, and let me apologize beforehand if I happen to offend you, because this is something that's really got me, I would almost say it's got me upset, because it just doesn't have to be, and it's just ridiculous. And it comes out of, it's being quoted by Bloomberg. It's not a Bloomberg study. It's a study being done about how screen time on iPhones, on iPads, on computers is actually changing the structure of kids' brains. Ladies and gentlemen, screen time is changing the structure of children's brains. Let me read some of this to you. Smartphones, tablets, video games are physically changing the brains of adolescents. Results from an ongoing $300 million study funded by the National Institute of Health. Now, I know that they're not always our friends, and I know that they don't always love us so much, but they're doing an empirical, objective study, spending $300 million on it. And the early results are that having your kids watch computers, videos, video games, tablets is literally physically changing their brains. Scientists are following 11,000 9 to 10-year-olds, and they're going to follow them for a decade to see how childhood experiences impact the brain and affect emotional development and mental health. The first reams of data are suggesting the onslaught of tech screens have been transformative for young people and not for the better. Listen to this. Daily screen usage has showed a premature thinning of the brain cortex. A premature thinning of the brain cortex. That's the layer that processes information from the physical world. Your brain cortex is thinning in your children when they're watching significant hours of video screens, computers, iPhones, iPads. They say they don't know if it's a bad thing. I don't know how they can not know that it's a bad thing. And they say that it won't be until they can follow them over time that they'll see if there's outcomes that are associated with the differences that they're seeing in this early snapshot. Early results from this study, called Adolescent Brain Cognitive Development, have determined children who spend more than 2 hours of a day on the screen score lower on thinking and language tests. A major data release is scheduled for 2019. Talk about burying the lead. Children who spend more than 2 hours of daily screen time score lower on thinking and language tests. And these children are seeing their brain cortex, the outermost layer that processes information from the physical world, thinning. Ladies and gentlemen, all I can say is there's a reason why Steve Jobs, there's a reason why Bill Gates, there's a reason why these tech giants would not permit their children to have iPads, would not permit their children to have iPhones. They're on the cutting edge of the cutting edge. And David Fernandez makes a good point. Most of our leaders have grown up, or most of our leaders did not grow up with this tech. How did they turn out? Well, then go ahead and watch it anyway, because if they're that stupid growing up without it, how stupid is this group going to be growing up with it in addition to their normal stupidity? And if you want to put your kids, if you are such a lazy parent, David Fernandez and the rest of you, if you're such a lazy parent that you want to park your child in front of a TV, in front of a computer screen, in front of an iPad, in front of an iPhone, if you're that lazy because you don't want to parent and you just want to let them watch that stuff and you're willing to take the responsibility for the results, then don't listen to me. How the hell can you come at me for bringing you this news? And I'm not talking about just the parents off of those Walmart websites. I'm not talking about just the parents that are watching the Kardashians. I hang out with woke people, and I look around and I see woke people parking their kids in front of iPads, parking their kids in front of computers, parking their kids in front of televisions. Why? Because it's easy. Give her an iPad and she's quiet. Give him an iPad and he's quiet. God forbid you should put the iPads away and actually parent your children. Now, I wasn't a great parent, but I did parent my 3 kids. And guess what? They never owned an iPad, never owned an iPhone, and we didn't even have television. And I raised 3 reasonably adaptable adults. Would it have been easier to turn on the TV? Sure, it would have been. Is it easier to give them an iPad? Of course it is. Is it easier to let them plug in on the computer and play computer games and watch YouTube? Sure, it's easier. Like Kitten XT says, the electronic babysitter. And it's just not fair. One parent says, I don't park him there, he parks himself. Who's the freaking parent? Who's paying the rent? Who bought the device? You're the parent, you do the parking. Come on now. Well, Jeff is getting everybody mad at him today, but that's just the way it is. You're lazy, you're taking the easy road, and you're being irresponsible. If you let your kids and grandkids park themselves in front of electronic devices that Jobs and Gates wouldn't let their kids park themselves in front of, and that studies are now showing are bad for them. I'm the mailman. I'm bringing you bills, so you probably don't like me. But this is not just the development of your kids and grandkids is more important than you having some extra spare time. I am editorializing today. I'm passionate today, and I'm coming at you today. There is absolutely no excuse for you to be parking your kids and grandkids in front of these devices. You know that it's not good for them, and now we know scientifically, objectively, empirically, that it's bad for them. And what about their spiritual development? I know they're not on that thing watching BibleHub.com. Think about what you're doing, folks. I don't mean to get mad at you, but I'm mad at you. I don't mean to get upset with you, but I'm upset with you. If you're doing this to your kids, I am in your face saying, stop it. I am in your face saying, stop it. Let's go to the chat room and answer and respond. One of the reasons society is falling apart is a lack of human interaction. Yes, it is. Read to them. Some of you parents don't even know how to operate a book. I have a hard time getting my BB off of Xbox. It's an argument in her index fight. It's terrible. Well, guess what, Amber? You made the bed. You're going to have to turn it upside down and get them out of it. You allowed the Xbox thing to start. I'm not saying you're a bad parent. I'm just saying you're the one that allowed it to start. Because you've allowed it to get insidiously more over time, now it is going to be a horrendous fight. And it's up to you if you want to do it or not. But you know what the stakes are. Weston Smith says, I'm guilty. Jeffrey Valkenberg says, suppose we're all children, whatever that means. Heads pointed down for hours, cuts off oxygen to the brain, bad for eyes. You're right, Jama. I was a librarian while my kids were growing up, poor things. Got one college grad. She's going to be parked in sonographing, which is worse. I'm not sure what that means. Has Jeff addressed children with autism? Nope. I'm scared for my life because of the internet. Well, there you go. I know I'm the parent. You're so right. Thank you for waking up. Ignorance or laziness? Well, up until this show, could have been ignorance, but going forward, it'd be all laziness, Letty. Humanity is tired of this world. It's obvious everyone is checking out. We need the end of this loop. You're not going to find it on YouTube. Lavera's not mad at me. Good. Books are better. DJB's not mad. Tracy says it's negligence. You use YouTube right before bed at night with my boys. Well, we're not talking about using it responsibly. We're talking about 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours in front of a screen. Too many want to be their children's friends instead of their parents. Ooh, Mark Center Saint. Good words. 1 hour a day unless you do your homework. Yeah. Well, they're not watching. They're just playing games. It's screen time. If they're in front of a screen, it counts. If you tell the dangers to the parents, you get attacked because the truth is inconvenient. Absolutely, Gemma. You're 100% right. It's electronic Kool-Aid. Yes, it is. And you parents are not only drinking it, you're serving it. Limit their time out of sight, out of mind. Right. Lazy. Ooh, Christina Reed says, thankfully she caught a live show. I don't know if you're thankful that you caught this one. Let's don't start jumping on each other. I'm the one that's doing the jumping today. Turn off your Wi-Fi at night. I do that. This generation blows my mind. I'm 41 years old. I wasn't raised that way. Neither was I. Oh, Francis says I'm 100% correct. Glad to hear that. Remain positive or leave this chat. I don't park in there. He parks himself. You're the parent. Who's the parent? Who's the kid? There's literally laptops in every school. I know. It's terrible. The poor won't have the tools, but they'll be forced to get what? We know it's not right. It does need to be monitored. 18-month-old with a cell phone. Yeah, it's just crazy. It is just crazy. I do like the idea of turning off the Wi-Fi at night. If you mesmerize toddlers, they'll need that forever. Ooh, that's a good one too. If people get upset, then maybe it's hitting home. Yep. I have tons of toys for my boys. I know I put them all nicely in the back and clean, whip them out 10 minutes later, they make a huge mess. Well, better to make a huge mess than to be watching on those screens. Great topic, Jeff. Powerful podcast excellence. Thank you. Let's not judge. Everyone knows this. Sometimes you just got to tell the truth. The truth is that we know that putting kids in front of screens is bad for them spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and now we know it's physically bad for them. And if we continue to do it as parents, we are not taking our parental responsibility. We're hurting our children, and we're hurting it out of laziness, ignorance, or lack of courage to say no. depressed and overweight, half of them. My kids are physically fit because I run them ragged in sports and Bible study. Well, I'm glad they're in sports. And that is good. They need to get out. You know, Jay and I talk about this all the time. Children, young people are fat. They're overweight. The boys have no testosterone because they're inside on screens instead of outside running around on stuff that's green. Get your kids outside. Lock them out. I remember when I was a kid, we'd have breakfast, we'd go out, and we'd be locked out. If we had to drink, we drank out of the hose. We had to go to the bathroom, we went behind a tree. We got locked out. And we were outside all day long playing baseball, playing football, playing hide and seek, doing all kinds of stuff outside. And somebody's going to go after Bill Gates. Well, wherever he lives and whatever he does, he was smart enough not to park his kids in front of screens. Are you? My niece constantly complains about being bored. Yep. My niece complains something about David Icke. I heard that way before David Icke exposed it. Yep. Silicon Valley programmers have nanny contracts to not allow any screen time or phone time or any other device while watching their kids. They know something, ladies and gentlemen. Silicon Valley executives don't want their kids to have mobiles, etc. They know something, ladies and gentlemen. If you're sleeping with a TV on, stupid, 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 stupid. It just is. Don't do it. Let me lay here and how can a person that knows that the mainstream media is trying to program you for the fear and guilt control matrix allow themselves to fall asleep and lay there all night in a highly susceptible condition while the mainstream media pumps you full of information for 8, 9, 10 hours? I can't think of any other word but stupid for that. I'm sorry. I just can't think of any other word but stupid for that. Don't do it. Don't do it. I think I made my point. There's no sense going through and keep piling on people. I never had a TV, me either. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. This is empirical data. You know it's not right. Quit giving yourself excuses. Just start monitoring your kids' time. I know it's going to be rough. I know it's going to be tough. I know it's going to cause some fights. I know it's going to cause some difficulties. I know it's not going to be easy. It's called parenting. Who told you it was going to be easy? You decided to bring them into the world. They're yours. Raise them right. Come on, man. I've got more faith in you than you've got in you. I got more belief in you than you've got in you. You know what's right. Do it. And it'll pay dividends for you in the end. And you're the one that let the situation get to where it is today. So you're the one that's going to have to pay the price to correct the situation. I'm sorry, I don't have any sugar to make this medicine go down. It is what it is. Get your kids, get your grandkids off the electronics. Maybe you wean them off, maybe you cold turkey them. It's up to you, but do it, cousins. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, Christian whistleblower. I'm going to get out of here before you all figure out where I am and come after me. We are the last generation of real humans. We're the last generation of real parents, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get busy.